Hi, welcome to another episode of Port Charles Chat. I'm Mom.
And I'm Brandon.
Thank you so much for joining with us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us and welcome back.
Yep, welcome back. Let's see, it has been a little while since we've been on. We've got some that are taped that Brandon's going to send out real soon and put online. But we are here to talk about the week of October 27th through November 7th. We are going to collab and do 2 weeks and on this particular episode. And just so everyone knows, for day of taping, it is November 8th of 2025. Brandon, how are you doing today?
Mom, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. You're ready to catch up on General Hospital?
Let's do it. This is our 69th Port Charles chat.
Oh, wow. Well, time is just going on really quickly. Alrighty. So, Brandon and I had an exciting time because we were on vacation. So, we had to very quickly catch up to where we left off. And then we just decided to kind of include this week along with it. Let's talk first about Ronnie. We kind of want to catch up with Ronnie and everything that's going on with her. We find out within the last couple of weeks that Ronnie actually was hot, that Martin did reach out to Ronnie and did persuade her to come into town. Apparently, Ronnie had been in contact with Monica and they have been writing letters. However, Martin is the one who spearheaded the will change. And so they are working together on this. Ronnie and then finds out later that she needs to sell the house to Drew, meaning the Quartermain mansion. And Ronnie's actually not that happy about that because once more, there's another person who doesn't like Drew. So anyway, she at the last minute decides to tear up the papers, and but Tracy, on the other hand, accidentally found the real will, Monica's real will, and she found that in Alan's old diplomas. Anyway, Tracy goes to, of course, very quickly to the Quartermain mansion to try to stop whatever's going on there. She does interrupt. She finds out that Ronnie was not going to sell the house to Drew, but regardless, she does have the real will, and she does let the family know was in it. But Tracy's shocked to find out because she didn't read ahead in regards to the house because she assumed that Michael would get the house. She does find out that she is the one who would inherit the house, and Michael is the one to tell her that. Needless to say, needless to say, Tracy is ecstatic to find out that she is going to receive the house. She is also shocked at the same time. She very quickly kicks Ronnie out of the house, and the rest of the family kind of follows suit. And in the meantime, with all this going on, we do find out that Martin is actually taken to Laura because we think that he is going to jail, but he ends up really going to see Laura later. That was a lot to say in a matter of a couple of minutes. So I hope it didn't confuse anyone out there who has been kind of watching sporadically. But Brandon, what are your thoughts about Ronnie?
I love this storyline. I think that it's sort of well deserved and being able to tell a proper sort of Monica exit storyline. I mean, I think everything from, Martin picking up the mysterious envelope that he found at Drew's house that belonged to Monica to even uh, Drew shooting, which I feel actually ties into this sort of plot as well. To now with Ronnie coming in, getting the house, the Horman mansion, to nope, it was all faked, and now seeing her as she begins to exit. I think that was all just really well done. But I love sort of being able to see the sparring between Ronnie and Tracy.
Yes, they do. It is a sparring that is interesting and fun to watch. But I do like you. I agree that I thought they did a good job with the storyline. I thought they kind of handled it really well in the fact that it's one that was solved really quickly, but it amused us at the same time. All right. And so now we have bits and pieces of just about everything. Anna. Anna is very scared that Faison is alive, and she speaks to Jason about this, and she kind of lets him know that her fear is that he is alive or that somehow he's involved with whatever's going on with the Five Poppies. And later that day, Anna is kidnapped. We don't know where she is. She is just being held hostage someplace, and we don't know who has her at this time anyway. Portia. Portia is pregnant. I think we talked about the last time that we were on air. But what we didn't say, I believe, is that Jordan is the one to tell Curtis about it. And Curtis confronts Portia. And Portia does say that she is pregnant. And then later, Portia confronts Jordan. In the midst of all this, Portia and Curtis have realized that their marriage is over. However, they're not quite going to get a divorce quite yet because they need to get past the trial of Drew. Well, the case pending for Drew. Scout. Alexis, Christina, and Molly do spend time with Scout on the anniversary of Sam's death. Drew does allow this to happen. Sonny suggests that Alexis consider Portia as a suspect in Drew's shooting instead of Michael. And so that is something that Alexis is considering. She actually does hire Felicia to be the private detective to kind of take a look and to see where Portia was the night of Drew's shooting. Britt and Sidwell, we find out, are working together and on Faison's last project. Dalton is also involved too. We still don't know everything. They mentioned cold fusion. Whether or not that really is it or not, we don't know. But we do know that they are all kind of working together right now. But I will say this: I believe that Britt is actually being blackmailed in order to work because we do know that Sidwell is kind of the one who's supplying the medicine to her. Marco asks Lucas to move in with him at Windermere. He agrees, and then for some odd reason, Sidwell's very happy about this. So anyway, they're all going to live together at Windermere. Jocelyn is kind of informed that she needs to continue working on the Dalton case. Vaughn is very concerned about Jocelyn actually working on the case. Sidwell confronts Laura and then kind of spooks her a little bit because he kind of tells her that he could possibly have something that could be held against her. Of course, she doesn't know what that is, but he implies that. And then Carly decides to work with Valentine, and she kind of wants him to come back to the U.S. in the jail, of course, but she kind of wants him back in the U.S. Brandon, I know that was quite a bit, and I tried to kind of wrap it up really quickly, but did I leave anything out for what happened within the last 2 weeks?
So, I mean, just to add on to it, I will say, since you mentioned about the whole thing with Portia's pregnancy, that seems that practically everybody knows at this point, and enough where Britt is now sort of blackmailing Portia in that as well.
Yes, everyone knows Portia's pregnant except for Trina, and she's not going to be happy when she finds out.
Isaiah doesn't seem to figure it out either, despite that he's a doctor.
No, he does. Well, he's a little preoccupied right now, and we mentioned before too that Portia does not know who the father of this baby is. It could either be Isaiah or it could be Curtis. But Curtis is right now really excited about being a father, and his father is actually there too, and so we get to see Curtis interact with his father.
What, you're saying Drew's not the father?
Oh, that would be funny if Drew were the father. But anyway, did I leave anything else, Brandon?
Um, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Oh, Danny is even more mad at Drew and is like sort of alluding to that Sam wouldn't be proud of him. And there's Rocco's also mad at Drew. Lots of people mad at Drew, as per usual.
Everyone's mad at Drew. So we have to find the person who's happy with Drew besides Willow. But anyway, so I think that kind of wraps it up for storyline purposes for what happened within the last 2 weeks. And then, so let's talk about our performers of the week. And I'm considering these 2 weeks total. And so two stood out for me. And one I've mentioned before, and that's Ronnie, because I don't know. I just think she's doing a really, really nice job. So I like Ronnie and I like what they've done with her. And then I'm including Martin in on it also, because Martin did play a range and it was nice to see him begging with Laura. And then to watch him kind of act evil in a Martin way, although not really evil, but acting like he thinks he's evil. But anyway, so it was fun to watch Ronnie and Martin sparring with each other and along with the Quartermains. Brandon, who are your performers of the week?
Okay, I'm going to one up you, so I'm going to do three, and that would be the two that you mentioned, Ronnie and Martin. I'm going to add Tracy into it.
Oh yes, yeah. Tracy did do a nice job. All right. And as for my amusing scenes of the week, anything with the Quartermains and Tracy together for the last couple of weeks, I've gotten a kick out of. I really liked the last couple of days with Tracy and how they've had her play all the ranges of emotions. So I really have liked that. And then there was an inside joke that was told on this on one of the episodes, and that has to do with Ronnie. Ronnie walks into Bobby's and she sees Jack Brennan there. She looks at him and says, "Joey." I started laughing because I thought that was the best thing they could have done with Ronnie and Joey. And for those people who do not know, Ronnie and Brennan, for those people who do not know, Erica Slezak played Vicky on One Life to Live. Joey, the actor who plays Brennan, actually played Vicky's son on One Life to Live. And in that case, he was playing Joey. So we have Vicky and Joey there together. And I just got a kick out of Vicky calling him Joey. And I really wish it was such a great opportunity that Brennan could have been his son, been her son, because that would have been a great way to kind of bring people together. But uh, but anyway, I just thought they did that nicely. Brandon, what were your amusing scenes of the week?
Well, that's not to say because we truly don't know a lot about Ronnie or about Brennan. That's not to say that this was a breaking of the cover moment. That they can explore in the future. Because I know that General Hospital totally doesn't do any retcons, but
Not at all.
if they were to go to one, I think that would be an interesting opportunity.
It really, really would be a good opportunity to do that. All right.
But all that to say, those for amusing moments. Oh, there are so many. Well, I kind of got a kick out of Lulu reacting to Tracy just moving in.
Yes, that was funny. Yeah, and all the boxes that came along with it.
Yeah, but I'd say Britt had quite a few of those moments, like Emma trying to make peace with, you know, gosh, yes, Emma trying to make peace with her, and that was hilarious because when she ordered the biggest, most expensive muffin that they have at Bobby's, and then just left it there on the table.
Yes, yeah. Britt has a lot of one-liners, and you kind of have to catch them when she says them, but they really are amusing one-liners. All right.
Yes, definitely with Britt.
All right. And then we did have a touching moment with Alexis and Scout. I did like that they were together for Halloween in regards to they both were together thinking about thinking about Sam and how she would be at this time. And then, but she also spoke to she, meaning Scout, was also with Christina and Molly too. All right, Brandon, did you have any touching scenes for the last couple of weeks?
Well, no, that one happened on the episodes that took place over Halloween. But in that same episode, we also had Felicia and her family thinking about Maxie.
Yes, we did. We did. And I'm glad that they remembered it was Maxie's birthday. Sometimes they remember, sometimes they don't. But for someone who watched it when the time period when Maxie was born, I'm glad that they were that they did remember to discuss this.
Yeah, and there was a moment where even though the plot didn't really revolve around it, it was still sort of uh, there when you had Felicia and Alexa speaking, despite being about PI work. They did have the underlying tone of Alexis is still feeling the loss of Sam, whereas Felicia is still trying to figure out what to do with Max's family.
Yes, yes. And then as for fast forward scenes, I didn't necessarily have any fast forward scenes within the last couple of weeks. How about you, Brandon?
No, not necessarily. Although we do have the questionable scene.
Oh, which one?
I would say the one that happened yesterday on November 7th
What was that?
with the replacer.
Oh yes, we did have the replacer. For those of you who watched the, oh Brandon, please remind me what was the name of the game?
Uh, some version of Call of Duty.
Okay, but yes, and so they had the replacer on, and he was there, kind of spying sort of on Felicia. But I think that General Hospital still is off a day in regards to airing. And so the whole thing did not play for us, at least for our version. Although the way people wrote about it online, it made it seem like some people saw the whole scene. But anyway, they did air it on YouTube. And so we got a chance to see the scene kind of play out, and I thought that was really funny. I thought it was like one of Sidwell's men coming in, not realizing that they were kind of having a commercial. And it was nice to see Felicia be the one to actually kind of follow through with this. We don't quite see her do things like this, so I like that they let her character be there.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was amusing. The whole thing, the whole placement in Friday's episode was just odd, but it was amusing. But the only thing that I think didn't make sense to me, the two things that didn't make sense out of that, was Felicia not noticing that the man was there. Because, I mean, Felicia's a PI. You're saying that she didn't notice this random man?
I know she said everything about her family to this guy. Well, not knowingly to this guy.
Yeah, so that was one thing. And then also that the replacer's there because Stella went to go play Call of Duty on work. I mean, is she under investigation?
Well, no, not now, but she was in an investigation. But yes, yes, they did a nice job with that. And then I did notice one missing scene, and we talked about this off camera, that we would have liked to see Ronnie and Tracy kind of working together as a team now that they are quote unquote friends. I would have liked to see them kind of work together as a team in order to do something. They have the same personality, basically, but I think teaming together, they'd be a strong team together. All right, Brandon, were there any other missing scenes?
Well, I mean, I would say that was the big one, and I really think this week, these 2 weeks, really brought together everything in a theme, like a thematic way, in the sense that we had a lot of sort of reminiscing. This is a strong 2 weeks for the Quartermain family, and I just like that they were all sort of together. Still, some off-screen people like, where are the children?
Yeah, I know. Well, we did see the children. We did see Rocco, and we saw Danny, and we saw Scout. So and Geo. So we guess we did see the children, except for
Well,
the little ones.
yeah, I mean, like I think about how they said that some of the people moving out of the Quartermains during that like what day, half a day. It's like Leo was in the middle of trick or treating, never saw him. Wiley and Amelia moved out, and all these other people moved out. Like, where are the people?
I would have loved to have them show them in the hotel room together or wherever they were staying. I think we could have gotten a kick out of that. It was nice to see them going to Bobby's because they act like they don't have money. But I like that they all went to Bobby's to go and get their breakfast.
Yes, they quite literally like took over the place.
Yes, they did. They did. And then let's see. As for welcome backs, let's welcome back Laura and Lucas, Jocelyn, and Vaughn. They've been missing for a little bit, or if we did see them, it was just like for a day. But welcome all of them back from the last 2 weeks. And then the question of, well, are there any other welcome backs for you?
Are there any other welcome backs? I feel like there was a pause in times of 88 Turner being there. Of course, she's back now, so that's the only other one I can think of right now.
Okay. Oh, and we forgot Prescott.
Here's
He
Prescott.
Prescott is Sidwell's new waiter or whatever he
Oh,
is.
Pascal.
Pascal, I'm sorry. Prescott Pascal, whatever. But anyway,
And he has a suit now.
he has a suit, yes, and he's not wearing pajamas or whatever it is he was wearing before. Anyway. And then we have the where are these? So where is Willow? Well, I know she's in jail, but I mean she really hadn't been on. And then I think Elizabeth is missing also. Trina is missing, Kai's missing, and Stella is talked about, but she's missing too. So I think those are our missing people right now. All right, Brandon, did I miss anyone? Who else is missing?
Where's Rick?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget about Rick? I will write that down in my little notebook here. Yes, where is Rick? I know he was in the hospital last time we saw him, but he was speaking pretty well. So not quite sure where he is. All right. And then as for next week, I am looking forward to more, not necessarily Drew himself, but the storyline involving him. Then I'm also looking forward to see what Sidwell is up to. Those are the two main storylines. I don't know if they're going to really show Anna because unless they're kind of starting to bring things together. But I really would like to see those two. Any other storylines that you're looking forward to, Brandon?
Do you think they'll show the big mayoral debate between Boyle and Laura? And where is even Boyle? Where is he?
Oh, well, Boyle's missing too. I guess I got to add him onto my little notebook that I'm using. But yes, Boyle is missing too. We'll have to see if they show the debate because everyone in town's supposed to be at it.
Except for Britt, apparently.
Yeah, yes. And then I also wanted to talk about Ronnie a little bit. We did talk about Ronnie. And then besides the wrapping up the Monica storyline, did Ronnie have any other purpose? For me, she did have one other purpose, and that was to kind of make some of the bridge between Gio and the Quartermains. I thought they did a nice job uh, of letting Ronnie and Gio have a lot of airtime together. And one of the last things that Ronnie told Gio was that he needed to speak to Dante and to Brooklyn. And I thought they did it. I thought for someone to tell him that she was the appropriate person to say it. But that to me is one of the main reasons that I think she was kind of used in this way to kind of bring the Quartermains together again, and that way they'd have a united front. All right, Brandon, were there any other reasons you thought Ronnie was brought in besides the obvious, of course?
Yeah, I mean, I would say two others, and that would be one of them to go ahead and officially make Tracy the matriarch of the Quartermains, because for the longest time, Monica was the front and center face of the Quartermains, but obviously in her absence, you've seen Tracy, working to keep the family together, but she's done it all in the name of Monica, and so I thought what was interesting is that as soon as it was found out that Monica had left everything to Tracy, Tracy immediately went back to her own ways. Kicked everyone out. As you do in the Quartermains.
Yes, you do. All right, and then Drew shooting. Your current suspect, I will tell you mine. Mine is still Danny, and I think I've dropped Portia. I think I'm still onto Danny as being the suspect. All right, Brandon, what about you?
Yeah, I'd still be on Danny, and I mean to finish up what I was saying a little bit earlier for the second reason,
Mm-hmm.
I would say the second reason is also to say that there was more to Monica than we knew, even though she was on the screen for so many years. The fact that she never even mentioned this, but it showed that she did have a life outside of the hospital and all of this other stuff. So I definitely think that the show did a good job with that. But going back to the suspect list, so I definitely think it's still Danny, but in noticing the interactions between Rocco and Drew, I'm sorry, I don't want to rule out Rocco. I don't think he would have done it, but I think he probably knows more than he's letting on.
Yeah, he probably does. He probably knows that Danny did it. Anyway, so
Maybe he's the one that told him to do it.
yep, very well could have. And then we've got Anna. So now the question is, who has kidnapped Anna? Of course, I'm thinking about Sidwell as being the kidnapper. Your thoughts?
I mean, it could definitely be said well. But here's the interesting thing, is that Brennan knows a lot about this kidnapping. I mean, in the sense of that he said that she's been whisked away for official WSB business and that she recruited this and that. And my initial thought was that he knows that she was kidnapped and that he was making it as a cover story for why she's gone to not alarm anyone. But wouldn't he have to have some information for that to happen?
Well, she did. She quote unquote called him at the end of one of the episodes.
Was that, well, I know she called someone. Is that who she called?
Yeah, she called. She called Brennan. But like I said, that was when she was kidnapped. So of course, a fake recording there.
So yeah, again, I'm kind of curious as to how this is, but I could very easily see this be where this whole storyline sort of dropped for a week, it makes me think about actually when Marco was kidnapped. Then after he was rescued, we had a whole beginning of the love story for Marco and Lucas, and then all of a sudden they're not together for weeks, and then now they're moving in together. So hopefully Anna being kidnapped not dropped. I mean, I think they kind of need a police commissioner.
You would think so too. And hopefully Jason will figure it out too, because I'm sure he's the one who will rescue her later.
So I mean, who really knows? The question is Faison really dead?
Oh, I've said it before. I did not like the Faison character when he was on previously. So I'm hoping that it is someone else. I'd really like it if it was Grant Putnam. You'll have to do some research to figure out who he is, Brandon. But anyway, that would be, and I know they're kind of leaning towards, Faison being the person to have done this.
Might be Nathan.
It very well, Nathan could have been the one to kidnap because we don't know who Nathan is.
I mean, they made numerous points about he is Faison's son and that he's missing 7 years and that he was still doing stuff. So, what if during this time that, I mean, he was doing all the stuff under the guise of Faison and truly now doesn't remember it?
That's true because we know that Britt knows more than she's letting on.
Yeah. And then going to what you were saying earlier in this discussion, how much is Britt really in this per se, and how much is sort of beyond her control? And have we seen Liesel in a moment?
No, you're correct. We have not seen Liesel. I think all of this is beyond Britt's control. I don't think Liesel is involved, at least at
No.
this point. I don't think she is. I think this is truly Britt working with Sidwell and whoever.
Yeah, so definitely curious as to how all this goes. But I do think the thing I want to know more is some progress on the whole who shot Drew thing. Hopefully there is actually like a suspect. And then why was the whole who killed the judge thing dropped?
Yeah, that's been dropped completely. So hopefully they will come back to that soon also. All right.
So yeah.
All right. Well, we would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are also. So please let us know. Drop your comments in the comments. Put your suggestions in the comments and let us know what your thoughts are. All right. We thank all of you guys for watching today.
And we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.